in agriculture communications. So we're going to take a little different spin on maybe what we've heard all morning and go to maybe if everybody wants to sit back, relax, think you're sitting on the beach, the white sand beach in Mexico. You got the water in front of you, maybe there's dolphins jumping in the background. So we're going to kind of get into more of the brain, that type of thing, versus more of the technical side of things. So if you're ready, we'll start. Despite what some may think, a brand is not a logo. And so here we have the FAPC logo. That's not our brand. Although we talk about branding in the aspect of we're wearing the FAPC brand, it's very different. A brand is also not an identity. So it's not the way in which we put together collateral material. It's not the look of what the center's information is. It's not the look of our website. And a brand is not a product. And so here at the center we work with different clients and they bring their products to us and we work on their brand realizing their brand is not a product. So what exactly is a brand? A brand is a person's gut feeling about a product, service, or organization. Because it's a person's gut feeling, brands are identified by individuals, not companies, markets, or publics. It's a gut feeling because people are emotional and intuitive beings. So in other words, it's not what you say it is, it's what they say it is. As reference, branding is a way for businesses to differentiate their products and services and establish a reputation that will build customer loyalty. So take, for instance, we're all familiar with Coke, or the Coke brand. Coke has a value of $120 billion, as of when this research was found, $120 billion, but without the Coke brand, it's only worth $50 billion. So essentially, without the brand, the Coke's glass would be half empty. So in a marketplace cluttered with brands, there's thousands out there, how do you decide which brand to buy? And that leads us to my study. Identifying brand perceptions of internal and external audiences of a private sector facility housed on a Willard University campus, aka the Robert F. Kennedy Product Center. So the problem with a marketplace cluttered with brands and brand names and channels of communication awareness opening, the need for an effectively communicated brand message is needed to differentiate products and services from the competition. So the FAPC works with Oklahoma food and agriculture entrepreneur clients to create, promote, and further their brand. The question is, how can the FAPC assist clients with this when what the FAPC brand is unspecified? So the purpose of this research is to gather internal and external audience perceptions of the FAPC brand to gain a better understanding of the brand gap between what the FAPC brand actually is and what the FAPC brand is intended to be. Through identifying opportunities, and then with that, we will use that to identify opportunities to disseminate information and not necessarily rebrand, but create this new being in touch with what our brand really is. So objectives. 4 objectives include capture internal and external perceptions, uncover how the FAPC brand is perceived, define strategies to bridge the brand gap, and finally align the brand with the FAPC mission. So how are we going to do that? Objective 1, capture internal and external perceptions. It's qualitative research in a focus group setting. And so these focus groups consist of, or the population would be cross-section representatives of both audiences. So those who are familiar with the FAPC, work with the FAPC closely, and then perhaps an external audience, maybe some of you who are encountering the FAPC for the first time. So it's all about obviously there's differences between the internal and external, and how we're going to bring those two together. Like I said, uncovering those brand attributes through 2-part questioning. In the focus group, there's 2 parts. There's a kind of introductory part, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then the core essence group of personality questions. This research all comes from ACRE. Both Jennifer and David, they have done lots of brand research and have created this brand research model. And then also an instrument developed at Miracle Church in Iowa. And then the final 2 objectives will define strategies to bridge the brand gap. Through doing this, there's brand opportunities, brand extensions, and even ongoing brand management. And then finally, to align the brand with the FAPC mission. So with this data, we'll realize whether the FAPC, what our intended brand is what the audience, you all, are communicating, or what we are communicating. Perhaps there's realignment of our brand that comes as a result, or a shift in collateral material. So, going to the focus group questioning. Like I said, there's 2-part questioning. First set would be establishing a brand relationship with the FAPC. So the first question would be, describe your experience with the FAPC. So some of you may say that you are faculty, you're at the FAPC, you work here every day, this is where your income comes from. That's one experience, that's one relationship with the FAPC brand. Perhaps another is coming to the research symposium for the first time and being exposed to not only the center, but the building and even services and disciplines offered here. The next one would be, when telling others about the FAPC, you would say. And so if you have little familiarity with the building, you might say that, or if you were to ask a student on campus who maybe is a part of the journalism school, they may say that it's a beautiful building that has pretty trees in the fall, and we like to go take a picture there. That might be their only reference to the FAPC. So are we effectively communicating the brand message there? Not necessarily. And then the final question, very audience specific, clients utilize the FAPC because, like mentioned, Oklahoma food and agriculture entrepreneurs come here, bring their product, and then utilize the different services here at the center in order to promote and further their product in the marketplace. Moving on to the second set of questioning, or the core set of questioning, it is all reference to brand personality traits, brand personality attributes. Brand personality can influence consumers' preferences and choices in various ways. By humanizing the brand personality provides opportunity for building strong consumer brand relationships. And so just like I said when I opened, I said sit back on the beach and you're looking at dolphins. That's more the intuitive side of things. And so with this set of questioning, that was really targeted to it, as you'll see. So think of the FAPC as a person. Describe the FAPC's personality. So things that may come of this would be strong, courageous, outgoing, shy. Next question, think of the FAPC as a person. What are the FAPC's weaknesses? And the real goal behind these focus group sessions is not to focus on a product or service that the center offers, but maybe a weakness would be being all things to one person. So that would be a typical answer to that. Third question, what does the FAPC have to offer that no one else can? Perhaps it's services. I think that it is known the FAPC is one of the only facilities in the United States that offers the full slate of services as the center does. Fourth question, what keeps the FAPC up at night? So it could be anything from budgetary to finances, technology, lack of equipment, different things like that. And then the final question, what famous icon would the FAPC be? So here in the middle, I'll show you some of the unique findings we did. During data collection, which is currently ongoing, there's different data points of internal and external audiences. Like I mentioned, the focus group, construction of the focus group, 30 minutes with 10 to 20 individuals, no more than 20 just for the lack of engagement levels. And then basically it's a consent, questioning, and then summary of what was discussed during that focus group. And then at this time, we'll also collect demographic information just to ensure diversity of the population. So in essence, surveyed individuals arrive at a parallel slate of brand personality attributes through those different questions. Findings and things. So at this point, the clusters or these brand attributes that were arriving after these focus group sessions include sincerity, excitement, competence, sophistication, and ruggedness. So if you think of the different personality traits that we talked about, ruggedness, that would be maybe strong comes out as a personality trait. Sincerity, perhaps it's something, going the extra mile for a client. And so those are the different clusters that this data will all go into. Unique findings. I talked about this just a little bit, but in the question set, think of the FAPC as a person. What are the FAPC's weaknesses? So a general theme is focus, a lack of focus. Because we're a center of so much and so many different things going on, what is the long-term goal? What is our focus? Another one, what keeps the FAPC up at night? Acting as everything to everyone. And those of you, I have that personality. It's hard to be, that person, the person to everyone. And so I think that that's another one of those things that the FAPC as a center faces. Financial constraints, technology, different things like that. Anything that's real world business, obviously all things that would keep the FAPC up at night. And then finally, what famous icon would the FAPC be? Which is a unique question, but we get answers like John Wayne for the courageous, those different kind of attributes. And then Steve Jobs, innovation, and being the only center, the center with the only services of this kind. So conclusion and action items. At this time, like I said, data collection's going on, and then description, coding and characterization of that is in process. 2 action items to complete would be the last 2 objectives: define strategies to bridge the brand gap, align the brand with the FAPC vision. And then finally, through this research, it's become kind of a topic that a strategic plan to help create a consistent brand message and enhance the duration of a brand's life cycle is needed. Here are references that were used in this PowerPoint. Does anybody have any questions?